head of the American Atheist Society. And she was responsible for getting prayer thrown out of the public schools back in the early 60s. And I remember that, going to school one day and all of a sudden we couldn't say the Lord's Prayer anymore. And that was because of Madeline. And apparently she was a sort of a pretty crusty, foul-mouthed, rather unlikable woman who was really intelligent and just had her agenda, and she was going on, and she didn't care what anybody thought about her. And she always said that she created this atheist society for her son, who was about my age. As he grew up, he became second in command. And then at one point, they had a falling out, him and his mother, when he decided to come out as a born-again Christian. Which apparently he did on Mother's Day. So they never spoke again. At one point, Madeline disappeared in the 90s, along with her second son and her granddaughter. And no one knew where they were. They were missing for like 5 or 6 years, and there was all this conjecture as to what might have happened to her, and people were saying, well, maybe she absconded with all the atheist funds and was living a rich life in New Zealand. And finally, after about 5 or 6 years, somebody that was in prison decided to tell what he knew about it. He said, I know where the bodies are buried. And turns out that they had been kidnapped and killed and cut up into pieces and buried on a ranch out in West Texas, over $500,000 in gold coins. And so they go to look for these bodies, and then her son, who had become the born-again Christian, said, well, if we find the bodies and it is my mother, I'm going to give her body a Christian burial. And I heard that and I became perturbed. So I wrote this little weird song for Madeline. Dig a hole in the ground, throw the bodies on down. Dig them up, pass them round. People, look what we found. Sharp wit, ain't no doubt. Sharp tongue, cut it out. Found a number on a hip. Seems she had a bone to pick. And the last thing she'd have wanted was to roll back the stones and be praying over Madeline's bones. How many would it take? Pieces of silver, a deal to make. Disappeared in a puff of smoke. Right to speak ain't no joke. And the last thing she'd have wanted was to roll back the stones and be praying over Madeline's bones. Well, the head bone was next to the hip bone. The hip bone was next to the neck bone. The neck bone was next to the leg bone. The leg bone was next to the shoulder bone. Oh, hear the word of the Lord. Open your heart, speak your mind. Life will pay you back in kind. Make your final